Hey guys, this is Tradesman41. Here's my review of the Knicks boots made to order 8-inch Traveler. The only custom option I have on this boot is a black sole instead of white. Other than that, it's a completely stock boot. The Traveler is a slightly lighter, slightly thinner leather than some of their other options, but it's still one hell of a work boot. They have quickly become my favorite boots, and I have nothing but great things to say about them. So stick around, check out the review, and if you have any questions or comments, definitely let me know. And please check out my Instagram so you could see some of the work I performed and the rest of the journey of my Knicks boots. Thanks. Alright, so what I got here are the Knicks Travelers. I've been wearing these boots for probably close to 200 hours now. I've had them for a few months, but I broke them in really slowly. I'm a frame to finish carpenter, so I do everything from building houses, framing, roofing, decks, all interior finish work. I've done everything in these boots, even doing some concrete work, digging ditches to do my power and sewer hookups for home builds, and I've worn them in all kinds of conditions, from 95 plus degree days to torrential downpours, and I have nothing but positive things to say about these boots. So let's get started. These are the Traveler. It's an 8-inch all leather unlined boot. The leather is, I think, the black walnut Stampede. It's thinner. It's a thinner leather compared to some of their other options, and it has the Vibram wedge sole. As a carpenter, I really like this sole because it gives you a lot of, surface area as when you're walking on pitched roofs, rafters. I like having a flat sole for that compared to wearing a heel. And I usually wear 6-inch boots, but I went with the 8-inch, and there's no drawback at all. Any advantage could be argued that it's more ankle support, but either way, I haven't tried a 6-inch in Knicks yet, but it'd be interesting to see what the difference would be. So this is an unlined boot, meaning there's no type of Gore-Tex or liner. It's just one solid piece of leather, and that means they don't get really too hot. Even on those hot summer days, my feet didn't really sweat at all because this leather breathes pretty well. And if you had like a Gore-Tex liner in there or something, that would trap moisture just as much as it blocks it from entering the shoe. And in contrast, because this is a really high quality solid leather, and just the nature of Knicks construction with all their welting and the leather midsole and everything, it blocks water from getting into the shoe. There's no, apart from waxing these boots every once in a while, there's no leather or waterproof treatment on them. And there's a few days where I was standing in ankle deep water and mud, and my socks weren't wet at all at the end of the day. And that was just downright impressive to me. I've never had any boot perform like that. So once these break in, it probably takes like a good 80 hours for these boots to break in. They get ridiculously soft. And they're a really sturdy boot. If you're not familiar with handmade boots or nicks at all, you send in a tracing of your foot, and they build the boot around the shape of your foot. So it's going to give you a level of comfort and a fit that you can't experience with like a off-the-shelf boot, no matter how high quality it is. And if you have any kind of foot problems or anything like that, I really like there's no better option. So like I said, I've done all kinds of work in these boots, and nothing so far is compared. I've wore Red Wing, Thorogood, Salomon, Merrill, Keen, pretty much any marketed work boot that's out there. Danner, nothing could compare to these in my opinion. You really do get what you pay for, and out of all the handmade work boot companies, I think Nick's is really one of the best to do business with. Even like when I placed my order, I made a mistake, and they called me up right away and fixed it. And there's just a level of detail and customer service that you really can't find anywhere else. So if I had any negatives or any suggestions for Nick's, I would offer this traveler model with more sole options. So if you wanted a heel or something else on your sole, but built on the same last and arch style, because I have really flat feet, so a lot of their high arch boots wouldn't work for me. So more sole options, more lightweight leather options, because as a carpenter, cutting weight is huge, because you're always wearing a tool belt and other equipment. So cutting weight is huge. So some more lighter leather options and more sole options. But I really like this traveler boot. And for carpenters, if you've never been in the familiar with handmade boots, these are going to be heavier than the boots that you're used to, specifically Red Wing or Thorogood mock toes, which is, I think, what many carpenters wear. These are a bit heavier, but once you understand the construction of a Nick's boot, how this vegetable tanned leather midsole and everything else that's in the boot, that's where the weight is. The weight is in the sole, and once all that leather molds to your foot during the break-in process, it makes these boots ridiculously comfortable, to the point where you really don't even want to take them off. So I wouldn't call it a trade-off at all. I don't think it's a negative thing, because they're really not that heavy. But once it breaks in, you really can't. You don't mind that extra weight. And like I said, I've done everything a carpenter could do in these boots. Building houses, framing, finished work. I've done it all, and I think this is a really good match for carpenters out there. So get in contact with Nick's, give them a shot. If you have any questions or comments for me, go ahead and let me know. You could check out my Instagram page, where I post a lot of work. And thanks for watching.